right, everybody else's cameras are running?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to work, people. Let's do this. That's why you signed up. Scramble.
Okay.
I'll do a couple of round robins with everybody and then regroup us to give you all of the answers to show you how it all works together. So you might actually want to stay close, only because that doesn't record with these cameras on. Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't have to ask them out loud either, by the way.
That's what I was going to ask.
So a lot of people, like, if you just stay close, remember, you can't be nice. You're here respectfully. She'll answer us. You just need to see, basically, from Kevin's device, like how much activity we're actually getting. He's kind of overwhelmed.
This thing spiked earlier about that.
Worry, did it?
It went up to 21, then it went down to like 15.
Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Eliza, if you're here, can you show yourself? Either the first wife Eliza, or the second. If any of you are here, can you show me a sign? Or even the husband that was in this mansion. Could you show us that you're here? Could you make a noise? Show us a sign? Anything. Maybe even knock. Like knock on one of these stone walls. Something. Give us a sign. Show us that you're here. Give us a way to understand that you're here and want to talk to us. My name's Charlie. We're here to just talk to you and have some fun. And like just learn your story. We're not here to disrespect you or make you feel unwanted. Just talk to us. Just show us something. We want to understand what happened to this mansion. So if you can show me yourself on this camera that I'm holding, that would be great. Did someone set fire to your mansion? If they did, show me yourself on this camera. I'm going to hold it right here. Are you anywhere around here? Are you above us?
It spiked a ton over there.
It did?
You know what we're talking about, yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to go over near them and see if I can this.
Up to 40.
Oh, went up to 40, so they're definitely over there.
One of your friends or someone knows your friend
true. Who was the president?
So, have you used this app before?
Yes, I have.
So, you know that it works best on Apple products after 2020, only
Yeah.
because of the LiDAR technology. Okay. Yeah, I had to do a lot of digging because everybody was asking me for that camera, and you know the ones you originally made were made out of the Connect,
Yeah,
and that thing weighs like 20 pounds by itself. I'm like, I'm not doing that on the tour.
yeah. You need somebody who can actually understand that there's a lot of weight behind that and keep it steady.
Right. And even with this one, like you had to we had to do a lot of testing, even
And
with the LiDAR.
tuning, because it'll just see a tree and
Right.
create a figure.
And we actually have quite a few pieces on there that it was interactive, like raise your right hand, can you stop reading your book and look over at us, kind of thing, you know, that kind of stuff. And we've gotten that type of interaction out of it. I'll be honest, I normally only bring it out with groups this size or larger, only because for me it's a lot of debunking. Just because I take a lot of screenshots with it, I brighten it up just to make sure it wasn't a tree, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, I do a lot of that just to
Like
make
I
sure.
was looking at the post over there and it was giving me a figure.
Yep. And it's going to do it every time, especially when we're working outdoors like this. Now, we will be in some spaces, like we're going to an alley next, where you'll be able to hold it just like that, off to
Just
the side, and just shoot it straight down the alley. And as I'm kind of stirring things up and telling you the history, that's really the only time that we're going to be there anyway. So just get the footage of it just like that, and we'll watch it later. So that's usually when you get the best stuff anyway. What you got?
I got Ryza 25 and children.
Well,
I
And
couldn't remember if that's what you said.
Eliza.
My memory.
and also while you were talking, Carolyn did get warning.
Yeah.
As in,
Was that like mourning as in like mourning a loss of a death?
yes.
I wasn't sure if it was like in the morning or the morning of the loss.
Morning of the person.
Got it. Alright, so let me follow up with Thomas now, because he's kind of like the lone wolf. Tell me the silly things that I don't think about how this goes. Joseph. Okay.
77?
Sir, for some say, I'm back up over here. Try and shoot the tire parking lot.
Also, Kevin, to help with that, try and figure out on what side of it it reads. Like, it probably...
Charlie, my question is, so if I go into an area and it says like 2.5, right? And then it says 3. And then I go back, like I turn and then I go back in the same area and it goes to 0. How does that make sense? Wouldn't it only get stronger if I like hot and cold type deal?
So,
What does this do?
So it reads electromagnetic frequencies.
Okay.
So like say you came in front of this light here,
Right.
and it turned.
That one's
Let's
broken
go
up.
over.
Yeah.
No, it just turned off.
That's why it keeps going.
So say, let's see where this measures.
I don't know. That's
Yeah,
what I'm like
that's
trying to
interesting.
figure out. Like
So let's say I put it up here.
this is why I'm like I don't really get this. Like you
I
would
don't
think
know.
it would like make sense in terms of like a
At least I know with the one that he pulled out, that one measures on the back of it. That might just measure a general area.
It's like it'll gradually go higher and then just like go back to zero. Then if I go back to
I say when you see a spike, stop moving.
yeah, it went to 40 over by Barry and your sister, but like
And
then I stopped
just,
moving.
Just stop moving and then just do a general sweep.
It's good. I'm trying to figure this out because like I'll be in an area like over by that and it went up to 40, and then I was like, okay, cool. So there must be something here. So then I like kind of stopped and like turned a little bit slowly, and then it went down. I guess I don't understand enough how it works. Whereas like I would assume that it was
Kev, do you want to
going higher and higher in an area.
Because this just shows figures.
Sure. I mean,
Well, I mean, even still, I mean, I like when everybody knows how all the code
Yeah.
works. I mean, I'm okay if you got swapped, but in essence, the reason why you're really getting more towards them, they're poking a lot of questions.
that's when it spiked.
And
when
they
I
do
was
have a
setting it
few
like that.
devices over there.
Right.
So
Well, those devices are probably going to only, like, if it's going to read those devices, it might go up to 3. Like,
Yeah.
it's really not
Up to
giving.
40.
Yeah,
So
so I
that's
mean, 40 is not going to be. And these transformers around it, they're far enough and high enough in the air to like where it's not going to affect it to a 40. We might get it up to
Right.
like a 5 or a 6 when it's pulsing some electricity through, but we're not going to get like a 4. Like that's not going to happen. Trust me, I've been in here
yeah.
probably, I would say at least 1,200 times investigating this space. I could write a book on the things that I found in this location, and we're going to talk about those readings. Like 40s, and this is me excited by the way about your 40. So I'm not a TV show host where I'll be screaming at me kind of shit.
One of my favorite channels is the Overnight channel. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they're a really cool group of people. They literally did the Warren Museum, and they got to hold Annabelle and shit, which is pretty sick.
So if I given the opportunity, I would probably want to do some tests and things like that.
Yeah.
But I tend to stay away from places that are already deemed to be haunted. I mean, look at us. We're standing in the middle of an empty parking lot right now. I mean, if it's already deemed haunted by dozens upon dozens of other teams, then there's really no reason for me to go there. I'd rather go find this thing. All right, let me call up Gearbox folks.
Second time. Not much of it.
Follow with them. Just wrap this one up. We got some weird things going on. so we could definitely check that. There we go. Perfect. So, where was I? Oh, they come down here, 10 paces.
Yeah.
They turn, Doc pointed his gun in the air and shot his one shot. He did not want to kill his friend. Just needed the courage to show up, which is often what happens at a duel, by the way. And then Ralph has, yeah, I'm getting dripped on too. Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die. Ralph proved his point. He's still pissed, not willing to forgive. Doc's friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about the last statement that I just said. It is 1786. Gunshot wounds, a lot different back then than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed. Ghost tours that come down here, which is all 338 of us, we all come down here and we tell them. That's all we had.
Yeah, Charlie, go that way and hit record.
He is recording.
Whoa.
So he's got a lot of things going on with that foliage up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the red.
So Doc, if that's you, we're gonna need you to stand up. So hopefully it comes back and it's standing up. We have caught some of those whistles while we've been here with this recorder, and I just started using this recorder at this location maybe a month ago because I got kicked out of another spot. But anyway, we're going to talk about how I got kicked out of this space in general. But if you guys try this on your own and use your voice recorders from your phones, just remember every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen, I actually heard somebody whistling as they were walking by when we came down here. Just remember that they're going to whistle. We all do it. It's just something we do. I can't even drive by this place without whistling. So,
You got the blue.
There it went again.
looks like it's still seated though,
Yes.
right by that foliage.
Yeah, I
Which is
think
more
it's
than
just
likely.
catching the foliage.
More than likely. So, let's talk about how I got kicked out of this place, because that's the fun part of the story. This alley didn't always go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there, about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. So that wall was there because this place was called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So this was before Dueler's Alley. So cows, goats, and chickens are down here. I'm telling you this because that means they started building this place down by Queen Street, and over the couple of 100 years is what we're standing on now. Those bricks are older than the ones you're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end of the alley, and I used to take my groups all the way through. We're going to lower our cameras as these people come through. I don't know if they're coming all the way through or not. I used to take them down there for a history lesson because there's nothing paranormal about that brick down there with that handprint. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. I guarantee it. One night, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there after telling them that the brick was there. I was going to point it out so we could just keep moving. And they all stopped. Imagine a group of your size stopping and staring at a brick and waiting for something to happen. And I'm trying to shoo them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I didn't realize we were out of bounds. So, the new owner of that mansion came out screaming his head off. My daughter was on the tour that night. She was about 14 years old. She thought it was hysterical that her dad was getting yelled at right in front of her. She was all about it. Well, we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays, especially Thanksgiving. I used to work in upper management for Walmart. You guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving and you scarred me for life. I stay home on Thanksgiving now. The next day was the 28th of November. I'm telling you these dates on purpose. It's going to make more sense. So, I called my partner that morning and I told him what happened, and he's laughing at me too because he already got the city complaint. So he basically said, you're gonna have to figure it out, you're not allowed to go down that far, it's residential. And he hung up the phone. I was like, well shit, now what? So I'm sold out, it's Black Friday, and tickets were much cheaper back then, so I told my group, I don't believe in the next story. I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that when we get over there. But anyway, so before we left, by the way, if I tell you we're going to be discussing pirates, who's the first pirate you think of?
Blackbeard.
Exactly. Thank you for not saying Jack Sparrow. You would not believe how many times I hear that answer.
Oh.
But I know, right? So you would only think of Blackbeard, especially when you're in Charleston. But I did not tell them who it was going to be. And somebody with a spirit box, before we left here, heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them it was going to be Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate.
yeah.
So I was kind of like, all right, maybe we'll get something. So we go up and around the corner. Somebody heard the number 300. I didn't know what it meant. I wrote it down. I do the research the next morning for them. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So I normally get a lot of the head nods and wow, that's really cool shit kind of stuff like you guys are giving me right now. I was actually pissed. Let me explain. As soon as they pass. It says fire, literally, right? That's
crazy.
That's funny. It's also relevant to why they named this place Philadelphia. But I was pissed because I have a master's degree in creative writing and several other bachelor degrees in different styles of writing. Research and data is important to me. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the days of Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. That's a problem, because every time you guys think you heard something that may have been relevant to the Anne Bonny story, I had to read like 3 textbooks and 4 documentaries just to make sure like what we had was validated. Well, granted, we're not allowed over there, but I did have this grand, elaborate story that was actually super great. I was starting to get into it, but now we're not allowed over there anymore. So what happened now is I had to replace that story very quickly. So I was telling the same story that all the other ghost tours end with, but I don't like the story because it's cursed to females. So I replaced it with another story. So we're going to be still experimenting with that as we kind of get over there. I'm going to swap out all of the extra things coming out of Barry's device. Does anybody want to try this set of headphones before we leave this space, and then talk to me about anything we may have heard or numbers we have seen? What do we got
I'll
going
try
on?
it.
I'll trade it for I got Canadian.
Go down slowly. Give me yours.
No numbers at all?
Okay.
Okay.
I went up to like
Oh yeah,
4.
watch
but-
there's feedback on that thing.
Yeah.
Put that on your head.
And I do listen to that recording from start to finish. Just so you know, that's the one thing I won't spot check. I do listen to it because it's only going to be like 12 to 15 minutes long.
So
Okay.
you'll get him with the
Understood.
very loud feedback.
Any other words we need to know about besides fire?
Oh, I got type Canadian
mean, Jen.
fire start
The word fire is relevant to the location because they named it after building. This is already illegal. They wanted to rename it because it was illegal. So they named it after a city that helped us out of one of our many, many fires. And Philadelphia happened to be that city. So that's why it's called Philadelphia.
Nick, I have to ask you, is there a bathroom or anything?
Yes and no. We'll just say that, yeah, Todd's taking advantage of that right now, like right around the corner. But we're going to be getting closer to Tommy Condon's, which has a restroom. So we can just take a quick break on our way up to our next destination. Okay. Anything that was heard on the spirit boxes?
He said no.
All right. Anybody else want to test out that headphones before I pack it up? Because this is the only location we use it.
Hey, Charlie, let me see that.
Okay.
Give it a go.
Here, I'll hold this.
Psychiatric meeting,
Not
You're
necessarily,
mainly
but
going
I'll
to
write
hear
it down.
that fucking AC unit.
Yeah.
A lot of damage.
That's still recording.
Thomas, do you get anything out of yours? Okay. You know, this location's weird because you're trying to stay focused on me and you have, gobbledygook in your ears. And again, he's going to be close by because we're literally going up around the corner to the cemetery on the other side of this wall. So again, that's why we're going to get things from both Dr. Lag and so, but again, that's why the Joseph 77 is so important to me. I'm like, what the heck is going over there? It's so weird that it's padding like back to back. Anything else going on with your camera over there, Charlie?
No, not really. I'm not getting much.
By the way, guys, if I find anything on that camera, I take screenshots and brighten it up to make sure it's not a tree, it's not the leaves
Yeah.
lined up, and if it's not anything that I can make out, you'll get like a slideshow. It's a slider bar where you get the original screenshot and then you slide it over and it's brighter so you could see like what would have been behind those markers. So again, if it's something that I can't make out, you're going to get it in your report. So. Anybody vaping over there?
Point down here.
Actually comes out in like a water droplet. And that can cause so a few months ago it should be 2 people with, you know what I mean, body.
Are you looking that way?
Yeah.
You seen anything?
No, I wasn't
30
even
feet.
seeing anything that way.
Oh,
I see what you're saying.
Alright, so we'll stop at this garage. Anybody else want to give this thing a listen before I put it away?
No, I'm not seeing much. I'm just
Right
seeing.
there, right there, right there.
So I'll
Yeah,
give
no,
it-
that's just, that's just a
yeah,
street
it's
light.
people, okay, yeah. Okay, well, at least we caught somebody walking in the distance. All right.
Alright, we'll pack this up.
Yeah, no, you're mainly catching the street lights
Yeah,
from
that
what I'm
one.
seeing.
Yell.
No, there, you see the forms come back
Nobody's
in the
yelling
morning
at
in
us,
the
I
dark.
know that. You guys would have
Close.
caught that for sure in the background.
This does have a certain range to it, so I would need to be further down there to catch it.
I know.
Okay.
Alright, so with the cams, you can keep them on as we exit the alley, because we are going to go out the same way we came in. But I would say once we hit the street, go ahead and hit those stop buttons. And then we will stop on a ledge where you guys can all sit down for a minute. Well, we'll stop for a quick restroom break for anybody else that needs to use the restroom. Sorry, Todd, you missed that whole bracket. And then I will swap out all of various parts and pieces with his device, and we will go off to that cemetery. So let's go up and around the corner and let's see what we can go find up there. Come on, Doc, you're invited. You know the drill.
Does number 21 mean anything?
Same.
Cemetery, that'd be cool. Figure out that zoom on there, Barry.
Who are you seeing, Charles?
It's a stone. It's that tall stone right there in front of us.
His camera is like the hardest thing in here because there's so many different levels with all these headstones.
I'm gonna go here to where it's more clear. Yeah, this is pretty cool, isn't it? Kev. This is pretty cool, isn't it?
I got 3.6 right here.
How much?
3.6.
That's your copy. Next one down is William Brent, right? Not Steve Bonnet, the gentleman far right. I'll take a 3.6 though. That's me excited.
Need a light to see who this is? Because I do got a light on me.
I got a light on my phone.
I have a little bit of a brighter one.
We can even read it. Yeah, tell what that says.
It says Cadson right next to it.
Gadsden?
Gadsden.
Yeah, Gadsden.
Got it. That's a pretty common name here.
Yeah. Kev, just remember, don't go past the fire hydrant.
I know. I was looking for it. Stick my hand through this thing. land in it, so
I'm gonna go down here. Let's
I'd love
see
if we
if
could go in there. It seems to be higher when I look. See that?
yeah.
Didn't move at all. Never mind. See that? Move that time. There you go. 1.2, 1. I don't want to drop it. I won't, but
That's a tree. I find I get less things popping up when I go above, but when I go below, I get mostly trees.
It's got a 5.2 right now, the same spot. I would be honest, 90% of the time, you get nothing. It's the other 10%.
I'm getting mostly what looks like trees.
And arms low out the jack. So I help who design those skull crossers for the jump pads.
just got 10.6 to cover that black seal.
Serious. Yes, they did actually. What was the other number you got, Kevin?
5.2.
Thank you. What do you got? Not yet. Dude, you're fired.
And no, I'm mostly getting trees and
Yours is
gravestones.
hard. Very hard. You gotta be very still with your The highest we've seen over here has been like an 11 and a half.
They just got 10.6 literally like right here.
Are you able to confirm?
Yeah, I'm trying to hold it above the
Yeah.
spikes so that we get as
Well, as long as
much.
the lens is in between, because the lens is small.
Yeah.
So as long as that's in between the rods, but there's so much.
I'm
depth
just
in
getting
here.
it so I can actually
If you're the
rotate
person
it
giving
and
the
not
order,
get
can you say your
the
name?
bars.
What the hell's that green light over there?
That's that way.
361.
Lower that camera, Charlie.
Yeah.
We need you to put your energy into this box and tell us your name clearly.
Show yourself on this camera, please. We are here just to document your story and your life and even your death. Show us. We are not here to be malicious or even disrespectful. We are just here to learn about you and your story. Honestly, I don't believe you got 8 pound. Hey, I'm trying to get activity. Show us your figure. Show us your beautiful figure. That's a tree. Oh, one swear. A tree. No, not really. Trying to rotate to get different angles and stuff, not really getting anything.
Anybody else have anything weird going on? There's a lot of weird mixed signals for me to dive in and research.
It's got berry and gut.
Very good.
I mean, maybe.
I said this morning, I'm like, we might have to go to the hospital.
Well,
I said, if I hadn't already had my appendix out, I would say I'm having appendicitis right
oh my
now.
yeah, we need to, yeah, because it just said berry gut. I mean, plain as day.
Alright, we've got enough for us to be able to analyze this stuff. There's figure actually going. If you do, I have a whole nother step. But if one of you is watching, it's where you have, it's now got no mask. Holes for your ears, and then I realized when you're going to have ladies sitting here, I didn't want to ruin anybody's hair. So your headphones will hold it in place, but still don't put anything just on just yet. Let's kind of talk about what to expect out of this. So you two are going to be hearing things from your spirit boxes, obviously. Tell us what you hear when you hear it. Even if you hear yes/no answers, you don't know what I'm asking. I might ask a ghost if I'm wearing a black vest. I would expect a yes. That would be a direct answer. So just remember, if you're too loud, a loved one will come up and tap you on the shoulder. I will never touch you. So you're going to be able to hear me, which is why I took your headphones off here while we travel. When we're done, that same loved one will tap you on the leg. I don't touch you. When we're done, take off your blindfold and your...
Oh, God. I did. You can see.
Note on the left-hand side on the spine. Make sure you take care of it before you get under there. Try not to look down. There's virtual buttons in there. You can see that. Straight ahead, just stay aligned with you. Worry. There's a dial over here. You can turn. Lisa, did you try that out? Make sure you can hear it. How about your work? First off, let's wish a very happy birthday to your son. Having been here for a few days. But let's talk about why we're here at this particular building. Why would we be here for this building to talk to you instead of the park?
For whatever reason.
Let's give a specific reason, Henry. Use the frequency words to tell us why we're here. We're also using the blue box, Henry. You can give us images. We're able to interpret them. We know how this goes. Henry.
Marching band?
Henry, why would we be here? What's inside this building?
positive
Let me
story.
know.
Level.
I'll take positive story as what's inside
Wake
this
up.
building. Henry, I'll take that. Can you tell us what specific
Gift.
is shown on Halloween? It's your work. What do they show here? Again, we'll take an image if you can produce it.
Spirit.
Mental and emotional.
Henry,
On the day.
on the day. Do you want to talk about yourself? Yes, no question.
Neighbors. Bill.
Full name was William. Stretch, but I like it. Henry,
Lonely Heart.
when was his birthday? Can you tell us when his birthday was? You know, we'll take the number as well. Not just the holiday. Henry, where'd you go? No images at all, Thomas?
No.
Henry,
It became.
In his speech.
Henry, let's change topic. Let's talk about your beautiful wife. Can you tell us her name or where you met her? He was her school teacher, in case anybody was wondering. That's how they met. She
God's love.
They usually say things as they hear them.
God's love could mean like faith.
I'd agree with that. Henry, let's not let Thomas fall asleep in there. Give us an image.
I just got this hat.
Whisper.
10.
Perfection.
Henry. Henry, let's talk about your wife. What was her name?
Smelling like it. FBI.
Henry. Here respectfully.
Yeah, there's. Angela Morris.
Her name was not Angela. Henry, we've been at this for about 5 minutes. We're about halfway through, Henry. I need you to push through and find the distinct terms and those frequencies to tell us the answer.
Have it called.
April.
She's like habit call.
Henry, we can make deals if you want. We're looking for some images.
Henry.
We're looking for
People think.
some images out of the blue box.
Never let you go down.
Henry, would you rather us talk to you
Isolation.
here or at the park?
When I see you.
Where did you used to see me? Where?
In a relationship.
Did you maybe give him a color that you've seen him? Or like in a place that you've seen him?
Energy.
More like a tattoo. Tainted love.
Henry, we're really getting just
Alone.
Okay.
a lot of
Short term.
isolated,
Still.
lonely
battery's being drained quickly.
Years.
So is mine.
Is it? Well, he's got a 10. He had two 10s over here. Henry, an image would be fantastic. Maybe we'll wrap it up early if you can give us a relevant image.
Palace.
What was that?
Palace.
He was a poor man.
Last
for sure.
night,
Henry, you can take power from my phone if it helps you communicate better. I'll set it right here on top of the sign if that helps
You're
you draw
never
power
I
from
can
it.
hear this.
He knows these are all electronics.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing this experiment with him for 2 years.
2024.